All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. I want to give all praise to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And peace and salutations to the Akim out there, spreading this truth like wildfire, in all truthfulness and in all sincerity. And shalom to the rest of the hopeful elect out there. Alright, got these articles that I want to go into. Got this article right here from the Times of India. It's from today. In U.S. China AI contest, the race is on to deploy killer robots. Sydney to meet the challenge of rising China, the Australian Navy is taking two very different deep dives into advanced submarine technology. One is pricey and slow. For a new force of up to 13 nuclear-powered attack submarines, the Australian taxpayer will fork out an average of more than Australian dollars 28 billion, 18 billion US dollars apiece. And the last of the subs won't arrive until well past the middle of the century. The other is cheap and fast, launching three unmanned subs powered by artificial intelligence. Called Ghost Sharks. The Navy will spend just over Australian dollars, 23 million each for them, less than a tenth of 1% of the cost of each nuclear sub Australia will get, and the Ghost Sharks will be delivered by mid 2025. The two vessels differ starkly in complexity, capability, and dimension. The uncrewed Ghost Shark is the size of a school bus, while the first of Australia's nuclear subs will be about the length of a football field with a crew of 132. But the vast gulf in their coast and delivery speed reveal how automation powered by artificial intelligence is poised to revolutionize weapons warfare and military power and shape the escalating rivalry between between China and the United States. Australia, hold on. Australia, one of America's closest allies, could have dozens of legal autonomous robots patrolling the ocean depths years before its first nuclear submarine goes on patrol, without the need to cocoon the crew. Let me look up what that is. Basically, to raise up. That's what I'm getting. That's how they're using it, without the need to raise up a crew. The design, manufacture, and performance of submarines is radically transformed, says Shane Arnott. He is the Senior Vice President of Engineering at U.S. defense contractor Anduril, whose Australian subsidiary is building the Ghost Shark subs for the Australian Navy. for the Australian Navy. A huge amount of the expense systems, quote unquote, go into supporting the humans, Arnott said in an interview in the company's Sydney office. Take away the people and submarines become much. That's that devil right there. And take away the people and submarines become much easier and cheaper to build. For starters, Ghost Shark has no pressure hull. A typically tubular high-strength steel vessel that protects the submarine's crew and sensitive components from the immense force that water exerts at depth. Water flows freely through the Ghost Shark structure. That means Andrew can build lots of them and fast. Rapid production is the company's plan. Arnott declined to say, though, how many Ghost Sharks Andrew intends to manufacture if it wins further Australian orders, but is designing a factory to build at scale, he said. Anduril is also aiming to build this type of sub for the US and its allies, including Britain, Japan, Singapore, South Korea, and customers in Europe, the company told Reuters. A need for speed is driving the project. Arnold Arnott points to an Australian government strategist assessment, the Defence Strategic Review, published in April, which found that the country was entering a perilous period where, quote unquote, China's military buildup. Hold up. Is now the largest and most ambitious of any country since the end of the Second World War. A crisis could emerge with little or no warning, the review said. "Quote unquote, we can't wait 5 to 10 years or decades to get stuff," says Arnott. "Quote unquote, the timeline is running out." The report is based on interviews with more than 20 former American and Australian military officers and security officials, reviews of AI research papers and Chinese military productions, as well as information from defense equipment exhibitions, high stake contests, an intensifying military technology arms race is heightening the sense of urgency. On one side are the U.S. and its allies who want to preserve a world order long shaped by Americans' economic and military dominance. On the other is China, which rankles at U.S. ascendancy in the region and is challenging American military dominance in the Asia Pacific. Ukraine's innovative use of technologies to resist Russia's invasion is heating up this competition. In the high test contest, seizing the upper hand across fields, including AI and autonomous weapons like Ghost Shark, could determine who comes out on top. Winning the software battle in the strategic competition is vital, said Mick Ryan, a recently retired Australian Army Major General who studies the role of technology on warfare and has visited Ukraine during the war. It governs everything from weather prediction, climate change models, and existing testing new era nuclear weapons to develop new weapons and materials that provide a leap ahead capability on the battlefield and one and beyond. Slovakia. And basically, Ukraine is where they're trying it out, where they testing out the drones and shit, where they testing out the rope. They're gonna test out. Well, they probably are gonna test out the robots there, the other robots there too. But they're also countries like Australia are developing these these robots as well. There's another article I'm gonna bring out. If China wins out, which neither country is gonna win out, it's gonna result in a hot war. It's gonna result. It's gonna This Cold War is gonna turn hot, and it's gonna go nuclear eventually, and no side is gonna win. If China wins out, it will be well placed to. But this is what they're saying, right? If China wins out, it will be well placed to reshape the global political and economic order. Which, let me get that. They're not gonna be. You Moabites are not next in line. Second Ezra chapter 6 verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. That means who got next? Jacob, aka you so-called black people, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as you speckled birds slash Israelite foreigners. Here in Babylon is and the cross scattered to the four corners of the earth. You know, these Moabites ain't got next. In fact, this is what it is said about Moab, about Asia, and thou Asia. Okay, no, it's not here. And now Asia, hold on. And thou Asia that art partaker in the hope of Babylon and art the glory of her person. Verse 47. Woe be unto thee, thou wretch, because thou hast made thyself like unto her, and hast decked thy daughters in whoredom, that they might please thy glory, and glory in thy lovers, which have always desired to commit whoredom with thee. Verse 48. Thou hast followed her that is hated in all her works and inventions. Therefore saith the Most High Power Yahweh. Verse 49, I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence to waste thy houses with destruction and death. Verse 50, and the glory of the power shall be dried up as flour, when the heat shall arise that is sent over thee. Verse 51, thou shalt be weakened as a poor woman with stripes, and as one chastised with wounds, so that the mighty and lovers shall not be able to receive thee. Verse 52, would I with jealousy have so proceeded against thee, saith Yahweh. Verse 53, if thou hadst not always slain my chosen, exalted the stroke of thy hands, and saying over their dead when thou wast drunken. Verse 54, set forth the beauty of thy countenance. Verse 55, the reward of thy whoredom shall be in thy bosom, therefore shalt thou receive recompense. Yeah, because these Moabites had a role in taking our people down too. So they gotta pay too. You Moabites gotta pay as well. Verse 56, like as thou hast done unto my chosen, saith Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, even so shall the Most High Yahweh do unto thee, and shall deliver thee unto mischief. Verse 57, thy children shall die of hunger, and thou shalt fall through the sword. Thy cities shall be broken down, and all thine shall perish with the sword in the field. So this is the judgments that is gonna affect Asia, aka Moab and Ammon. China and Korea, North Korea and South Korea, Vietnam, all them countries, as well as Japan. Verse 57, thy children shall die of hunger, and thou shalt fall through the sword. Thy city shall be broken down, and all thine shall perish with the sword in the field. Verse 58, just in case I didn't get that one yet. Verse 58, they that be in the mountains shall die of hunger, and eat their own flesh, and drink their own water, for the very hunger of bread and thirst of water. Verse 59, thou as unhappy shall come through the sea, and receive plagues again. Verse 60, and in the passage, they shall rush on the idol city, shall destroy some portion of thy land, and consume part of thy glory, and shall return to Babylon that was destroyed. So some of y'all's land is gonna be destroyed as well, by that nuclear fire. It's mainly gonna destroy Babylon though. But before then, I'll say you're gonna have nukes hit. Well, you're gonna have nukes hit other parts of the world too, but it's mainly gonna be Babylon, which is the U.S. Verse 61, and thou shalt be cast down by them as stubble, and they shall be unto thee as fire. Verse 62, and shall consume thee in thy cities, thy land and thy mountains, all thy woods and thy fruitful trees shall be burned up with fire. Oh yeah, this is talking about the elect when the elect after the elect get beamed up. from Babylon. So never mind, it's talking about that. And the angels in the chariots, they're going to be putting in work as well. Yeah, because down here it says in verse 63 that thy children shall they carry away captive, and look what thou hast, they shall spoil and mar the beauty of thy face. And that's what the elect, we're gonna take these nations captive, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, Ratazam of that number. But the elect of the nation of Yasharallah, the nation of Israel, is going to take these nations captive, starting with the elites of Esau, Edom. The so-called white man. But also you other nations like you Moabites as well. Y'all gonna get it as well. 1,000 years of hardcore slavery. Y'all go back to your land and y'all gonna still be captive. But yeah, you Moabites are going down as well. China is not gonna win out. No heathen nation is gonna win. But this is the reason that they're using to basically intro basically introduce robots to the battlefield eventually. Introduce them using robots instead of people. They've already started doing that with the drones. But now they're gonna introduce robotic subs run by AI. Yeah. And saying if America fails to act, it could see a shift of power, balance of power globally in the direct threat to the peace and stability that the United States has written for nearly 80 years in the Indo-Pacific. Okay. Our report says this, which peace. Babylon has been the hammer of the whole earth. Let me get that. Hammer of the earth. I misspelled. Yeah, Jeremiah 15:23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? Yeah, Babylon has been that big bad bully on the block, and nobody else can challenge. Now all these other countries, they got nukes, or their allies were countries that got nukes. slacking. So now they're popping their shit now, because now they have now they got another option, which is Russia and China. Eh, this is a damn lie right here. This is not about the anxiety about no longer being the dominant power in the world. It's about the risk of living in a world in which the Chinese Communist Party becomes the dominant power. Now it is about the anxiety of no longer being the dominant power in the world. Esau, you had your run. Now it's gonna be Yasharalah's turn to rule, and then no more heathens is gonna rule after. That's it. Let me get that. It's in Daniel. The saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom. Daniel 7:18. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever and and even forever and ever. So Yasharallah got next. Stakes are also high for Beijing. If the U.S. alliance prevails, it will make it far harder for the People's Liberation Army, or PLA, as the Chinese military is known, to seize democratically governed Taiwan. They mean U.S. governed Taiwan. They're U.S. puppet. Control the shipping lanes of East Asia and dominate its neighbors. Beijing sees Taiwan as an inalienable part of China, as it ruled out the use of force to subdue it. The Department of Defense has no comment on this particular report. Pentagon spokesperson said in response to questions, but the department's leadership, the spokesperson added, has been very clear regarding China as a pacing challenge, quote unquote. Regarding a possible attack on Taiwan, the spokesperson said Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin and other senior leaders have been very clear that we do not believe an invasion is imminent or inevitable because deterrence today is really strong, quote unquote. And that's that pride of Esau. You know, he's Jake, but he's speaking for Esau. That's that pride these devils have. Yeah, that's that pride these devils have, man. You know, and that little horn was stout, right? Yeah, Daniel 7:20, and of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before which three fell, even of that horn that had eyes and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. China's defense. So that's that right there. And China's defense military Alright, continuing on. China's defense ministry, Slovakia, and foreign ministry didn't respond to questions for this article. Uh, spokesperson for Australia's Department of Defense said it was a priority to translate disruptive new technologies into Australian Defence Force capability. The department is investigating, among other things, autonomous undersea warfare capabilities to complement its crewed submarines and surface fleets and enhance their lethality and survivability. A sword is sharpened, which is what I'm going to title this video. And don't don't think at all that they ain't gonna use this on the people, man. If they militarize the police, what's gonna stop them? What's gonna stop them from automation? Introducing automation they already have with them robot dogs in these certain cities, man. Like New York City and San Francisco, they already have there. What's to stop them from fully automating the police? You know, using that shit, using robots for using robots through martial law. You know they're gonna do it. Have these robots attack civilians, especially you Jakes, you Israelites. Okay, it says killer robots. Some leading military strategists say AI will herald a turning point in military power as dramatic as the introduction of nuclear weapons. Others warn of profound dangers if AI-driven robots begin making lethal decisions independently, like Skynet, right? And have called, hey, the Mosai Yahweh, he could have the angels hack the the nuclear like nuclear powered sub, for example, on either the Russia or Chinese side or the American side. They've already been known to be able to hack them, and oh, the AIs ain't nothing but demons, man. The AIs ain't nothing but demons. So the Most High Yahweh could have one of the AIs controlling a nuclear submarine, launch a nuke on its own. And since tensions are so high, a nuke will be shot back, just like in Terminator. It could happen that way, maybe not. I'm just saying. And have caused for a pause in AI research until agreement is reached on regulation related to the military application of AI. Despite such misgivings, both sides are scrambling to field unscrewed machines that will exploit AI to operate anonymously. Subs, warships, fighter jets, swarming aerial drones, and ground combat vehicles These so you're gonna have subs that operate autonomously, warships that au- operate autonomously, fighter jets, and swarming aerial drones and ground combat vehicles. These programs de- amount to the development of killer robots to fight in tandem with human decision makers. Such robots, some designed to operate in teams with conventional ships, aircraft, and ground troops, already have the potential to develop sharp sharp increases in firepower and change how battles are fought, according to military analysts. Some, like Ghost Shark, are able to perform maneuvers no conventional military vehicle could survive, like diving thousands of meters below the ocean surface. Perhaps even more revolutionary than autonomous weapons is the potential for AI systems to inform military commanders and help them decide how to fight. By absorbing and analyzing the vast quantities of data gathered from satellites, radar, sonar networks, signals, intelligence, and online traffic, technologists say this information has grown so voluminous it's impossible for human analysts to digest. AI systems trained to crunch this data could deliver commanders with better and faster understanding of a battlefield and provide a range of options for military operations. Conflict may be on the verge of turning very personal. Capacity, Salakia, the capacity of AI systems to analyze surface imagery, medical records, social media behavior, and even online shopping habits will allow for what technologists call quote unquote micro targeting. Attack with drones or precision weapons on key combatants or commanders, even if they are nowhere near the front lines. Kiev's successful targeting of senior Russian military leaders in the Ukrainian conflict is an early example. AI could also be used to target non combatants. Scientists have warned that swarms of small, lethal drones could target big groups of people, such as the entire population of military aged males from a certain town, region, or ethnic group. They could wipe out, say, all males between 12 and 60 in the city, said computer scientist Stuart Russell. See, they could use that to target. Then they're gonna use that to target civilians as well, especially you Jakes. Anyway, said computer scientist Stuart Russell in the BBC lecture on the role of AI in warfare broadcast in late 2021. Unlike nuclear weapons, they leave no radioactive crater and they keep all the valuable physical assets inside intact, Salakia. Added Russell, a professor of computer science at the University of California, Berkeley. The United States and China have both tested swarms of AI powered drones. Last year, the U.S. military released footage of troops training with drone swarms. Another video shows personnel at Fort Campbell, Tennessee, testing swarms of drones in late 2021. The footage shows a man wearing video game like goggles during the experiment. A model of Fei Hong's FH-97 reconnaissance and attack drone is displayed at the China International Aviation and Aerospace Innovation Exhibition, or Airshow China, in Zhuhai, Guangdong Province, China, September 29, 2021. For the U.S. alliance, swarms of cheap drones could offset China's numerical advantage in missiles, warships, and strike aircraft. This could be critical if the United States intervene against an assault by Beijing on Taiwan. America will field multiple thousands of anonymous unmanned systems within the next 2 years in a bid to offset China's advantage of numbers of weapons and people, the U.S. Secretary of Defense Kathleen Hicks said in the August 28th speech. We will counter the PLA's mass, quote unquote, with mass of our own, but ours will be harder to plan for, harder to hit, harder to beat. Even drones with limited AI capability can have an impact. Miniature remote controlled surveillance drones with some autonomy are already in service. One example is the pocket sized Black Hornet 3 now being deployed by multiple militaries. The Slovakia. The drone can fit in the palm of a hand and is hard to detect according to the website of Teledyne FLIR, FLIR, the company that makes them. It is a reminiscent of the movie Eye in the Sky, quote unquote, in which a bug like drone is used against militants in Kenya. Weighing less than 33 grams or a bit more than an ounce, it can fly almost silently for 25 minutes, sending back video and high definition still images to its operator. It gives soldiers in the field a real time understanding of what is happening around them, according to the company. Cheap and expendable, the AI military software is damn, Slovakia. The AI military sector is dominated by software, an industry where change comes fast. Andrew Rill, maker of the AI-powered Ghost Shark, is trying to capitalize on the desire of the U.S. alliance to quickly team humans with intelligent machines. The company, which shares its name with the fictional sword in Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, the sword of Esau, was founded in Tolkien's Lord of the Rings saga, was founded in 2017 by Palmer Luckey, designer of the Oculus virtual reality headset, now owned by Facebook. Luckey sold Oculus VR to the social media giant for 2.3 billion in 2014. Arnaud, the Anduril engineer working on Ghost Shark, said the company is also supplying equipment to Ukraine, of course. The Russians rapidly adapted to this gear deployed in battle, so Anduril has been pushing out regular updates to maintain an advantage. Something happens, he said, we get punched in the face, the customer gets hit with something, and we are able to take that, turn around, and push out a new feature. Arnott didn't provide details of the equipment, but Anduril referred Reuters to a February announcement from the Biden administration and included the company's Altius 600 maximum munition drone, Slovakia, and a package of military aid to Ukraine. The drone can. It's a long ass article. The drone can be deployed for intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance. It can also be used as a kamikaze drone, armed with an explosive warhead that can fly into enemy targets. Ukraine has already reportedly used drone surface craft packed with the explosives to target Russian shipping. Military commenters have suggested that Taiwan could use similar tactics to resist the Chinese invasion, launching big numbers of these vessels into the path of the fleet heading for its beaches. Asked by Reuters about Taiwan's drone program, the office of President Tsai Ing-wen said in June that the island had drawn great inspiration from Ukraine's use of drones in its war with Russia. China, the U.S., and U.S. allies have built programs to build fleets of stealthy drone fighters that will fly in formation with crewed aircraft. Yeah, the drones could peel off to attack targets, jam communications, or fly ahead, so their radars and other sensors could provide early warning or find targets. These robots could instantly share information with each other and human operators, according to military technology specialists. America is planning to build a 100 strong, 1,000 a 1,000 strong fleet of these fighter drones. U.S. Air Force Secretary Frank Kendall told a warfare conference in Colorado in March. At the Zhuhai Air Show in November, China unveiled a jet fighter-like drone, the FH-97A, which will operate with a high degree of autonomy outside manned combat aircraft, providing intelligence and added firepower, according to reports in the Chinese state-controlled media. China, the U.S., and Japan are also building large uncrewed submarines similar to Australia's Ghost Shark. On one overwhelming advantage of these autonomous weapons, commanders can deploy them in big numbers without risking the lives of human crews. In some aspects, performance improves too. Jet-powered robot fighters, for instance, could perform maneuvers the human body wouldn't tolerate. This include tight turns. This will include tight turns involving extreme G-forces, which can cause pilots to pass out. Aerial drones can also do away with the pressurized cockpits, oxygen supplies, and ejector seats required to support a human pilot. And robots don't get tired. As long as they have power fuel, they can carry their missions indefinitely. Because many robots are relatively cheap, a few $1 million for an advanced fire drone versus tens of millions for piloted fighter jet, losses could be more readily absorbed. For commanders, that means more risk might become acceptable. Robot scout vehicle could report approach enemy ground position to send back high definition images of defenses and obstacles, even if it is subsequently destroyed, according to Western military experts. Who's winning so far is difficult to say who's winning the battle to manage their AI-powered weapons. China's huge and sophisticated manufacturing sector gives it advantages in mass production. America remains home to most of the world's dominant and most innovative technology and software companies, but tight secrecy surrounds the projects on both sides. Beijing does not publish any detailed breakdown of its increasing defense spending, including outlays and AI. Still, the available disclosure of spending on AI and military research do show that the outlays of AI and machine learning grow sharply in the decade from 2010. Let's see if I can. But basically, yeah, the sword is sharpened. Let me get that. Ezekiel 21, verse 9. Son of man, prophesy, Salakia, prophesy and say, thus saith Yahweh, say a sword is sharpened and also furbished. Verse 10, it is sharpened to make a sword slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? It contemneth the rod of my son as every tree. Verse 11, and he hath given it to be furbished that it may be handled. This sword is sharpened, and it is furbished to give into the hand of the slayer. Verse 12, cry and howl, son of man, for it shall be upon my people, it shall be upon the princes of Israel. Terrors by reason of the sword shall be upon my people. Smite therefore upon thy thigh. So the hand of the slayer. Who's the slayer? Esau. Esau is the sword of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Psalm 17 and 13. Arise, O Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai. Disappoint him, cast him down. Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Esau, Edom. Genesis 27 and 36. And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lift up his voice and wept. Verse 39. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. Verse 40. And by thy sword shalt thou live, I shall serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Esau, Edom, has that blessing, the sword. Also showing that he's the wicked. Because the wicked is the sword of the Ba'ashim Yahushai. And so this devil, yeah, they say he's going to use it for war. It's for war and shit. But they going to deploy those here as well. They going to deploy those here as well. Because Esau, he's getting ready to come down with great wrath. Revelation 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Verse 13. And when the dragon saw that he was cast into the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child. Yeah, you Jakes, man. 2/3 of y'all, of you so-called black people, Latinos, Native Americans, and Israelite foreigners here in the States, y'all are through. Y'all are through. And, Esau is about to come down upon y'all with great wrath. But, Esau is only going to be able to take out 2/3. For the most part, even though there's going to be martyrs among the elect, Esau is only going to be allowed to take out 2/3. Because when these devils roll on the elect, Isaiah 59, and they will, Isaiah 59 and 19, so shall they fear the name of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai shall lift up a standard against them. Verse 20, the Redeemer shall come to Zion, and unto them that turn from transgression in Jacob, saith Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. And let me get Zechariah 12 and 8. In that day shall the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as Powers. The word there is Elohim. So they shall be as powers, as the angel of Yahweh Shem Yahushai before them. Verse 9, and it shall come to pass in that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem, which is a people before it's a place. But with that, I hope this video was edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim out there spreading this truth like wildfire with all truthfulness and all sincerity. And Shalom to all the rest of the hopeful elect out there. Hey, Ababa, that's a Babylon. Abada Adawamium, that's these Edomites. Abada Kawayam, that's these other nations. Abada Yamim Nawa, that's our enemies. The rest of them being 2/3 of you so-called black people, Latinos, and Native Americans, and Israelite foreigners that are wicked. That, well, of course, if you're the 2/3, you're wicked. That live here in the States in Babylon the Great, and you wicked Israelites that are scattered to throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom, shalom to the elect. Stay strong. Yasher Allah forever.